and welcome to my garden and the dinosaurs who live there. We're on Sunday the 22nd of December. It's actually a nice day, and given that we were promised 40 odd mile an hour winds, I'm very happy to see that it's nice and bright with hardly a breath of wind at the moment. So I thought I'd do a little bit of a Christmassy themed video. So thus the attire. So join me in this Christmas video when we'll have a look around the garden and we'll have a look at what's happened through the year, the good points, the bad points, etc. And maybe even look indoors at some of the Christmassy things that are going on in there. You can see that there's some snow on top of the hills this morning. That's the first time this winter that I've seen that. So yeah, it must have got really cold up there overnight, and it was raining last night and quite heavily overnight actually. So yeah, it's not too much of a surprise seeing the snow on them there hills. So here I am at the top of the garden, and there's been quite a change here this year. Up until about July time, I had the two beehives in this area, but I've now moved them to what we call an out apiary, which basically means an apiary that's not on your land, it's on somebody else's, where they are less likely to buzz people and annoy them. But I still have the bees and I still tend to them. But now what that did was it gave me much more space here to do something with. So there was loads and loads of weeds and things growing at the back of the garden there. And so we got that all cut back, and I've put black plastic on there to keep that under control. The amount of ivy there is just unbelievable. And then I've put in two of these raised beds. I think 1.2 metres by almost a metre, I think. Or maybe half. Yeah, anyway, big beds, quite deep beds. And I added these sort of, this framework to it and some netting, so they've become my brassica beds for now. So I've got two of these, one behind the other. I don't know whether you can see the one at the back there, but that's given me lots of growing space, which is fantastic. Where the black plastic is concerned, I'm going to leave that on to suppress the growth of anything underneath, and I've got some pots on there for now, and I'm thinking I might grow squash through the plastic next year. Don't know if that will work, given I'll have to plant them into the ivy-ridden soil underneath, but we'll see. So yeah, bit of a change in this area of the garden this year. So there's the other bed just hiding behind the one I was standing at. And if I just swing round, another change has been these two apple trees on dwarf rootstock. So they're going to be small, which is great. And I got a few apples off each of them this year. I've popped a little hebe in the middle there as well. But it's quite nice up here now that I've got a little delineated area for those two apple trees. And then there's a couple of beds here. Whoops, the one here next to me is looking a little bit sorry for itself. The net's collapsed. That's because the swing seat fell over on it during high winds. In here we've got tweed swede. But they're not looking great, to be honest. Well, there's one there. Let's have a little look. There's one there that's looking okay. And there's one there that's sort of looking okay. And I'd interplanted with some lettuce. So there's some remains of some lettuce in there. I really should tidy that bed out. And then behind it, a few weeks ago, I tidied out this little strawberry bed. So I've got the strawberries that I'm hoping will give me lots of fruit next year. In there, I sort of took out all the babies, and I've got dozens, a couple of dozen anyway, I think, baby strawberries runners that came off these, and they're in the polytunnel at the moment. And I've got more beds to sort out. I got an okay harvest of strawberries. I wouldn't say it was fantastic, but I'm hoping this coming year it will be better. And just behind that, here you've got, it's actually an old door off an old chicken run, but I used that as a sort of support, and I had 3 pots of tomatoes growing up there. Tomatoes were not great for me this year at all, whether in the polytunnel or outside the polytunnel. They really didn't go well for me at all. The ones up here gave me some harvest, but not a stupendous harvest at all. Tomatoes is definitely something that I had a rubbish year with this year. So this top area really has been quite transformed, and I have high hopes for the beds growing some lovely veg in 2025. Now actually, going back to this bed that I've got the lettuce and the swede in at the moment, this was the bed that I grew my onions in. The onion variety I grew was Exhibition, and I got a stonking harvest from them, and I still have a number of them in the house. They're storing really well at the moment. So the Exhibition onions were absolutely fantastic, grown from seed, so that was super. And I also got quite a nice harvest in this bed over here, where first of all I had garlic in, and the garlic gave me a nice harvest. Then I put in cabbages and interplanted them with carrots, and both the cabbages and the carrots gave me some nice harvests.
Well, I'm all for Christmas, all the happy smiles and the wishes, and I want it all, from the lights to the mistletoe. Tell me one thing, is there anything that you're missing? I will keep you warm as soon as you remove that snow. Whatever we do, we will be alright. These holiday wonders will open your mind. May all your wishes tonight come true. The love I lived, the dream I knew. This Christmas I only wanna be close to you.
Looking down the garden, there was quite a change this year in that I put in these little circular metal beds and grew some lovely flowers through the summer and into the autumn in these beds. They've died back now, so I'm excited about doing the same next year. I also started this little herb bed. Needs a bit of a tidy, but all going well. And then of course here's the main growing area, the first growing area that I really put down in this garden the first year that we were here. And you can see that we've got a brassica bed there. That's got strawberries, needs tidied. This bed here is good for salad veg. There's a few spring onions there, but I don't think they're going to do anything, the poor little things, but I've just left them. This bed here is actually a long bed, and I grew peas in there. And then this bed here, it's one of the original beds. All the sides have collapsed, so I'm going to either get a couple of metal beds or a big metal bed in its place, or get some wood and put a new border around that. So it's looking a bit sorry for itself at the moment, but it did give me some rather nice Brussels sprouts. So it might be December, but actually I am going to be sowing some seeds. So I'm going to pop into the shed and I'm going to find some seed trays and bring them into the house, make sure they're nice and clean, and get them all prepped for Boxing Day, when I am going to be sowing my onions. So I'll show you in another video me actually doing that, but I think I've got a couple of varieties. I've certainly got a red onion and a yellow onion. I'm not sure whether I'll do a third variety, but anyway, I'm going to, for the first time, actually sow them on Boxing Day. I think last year I sowed them in February, so I'm going to be quite ahead, which means I'm going to have to look after them in the house for a bit longer and then in the polytunnel. But yeah, I'm all very excited. And this is because, of course, I had a great harvest this year. I'm like, oh, onions. I love onions now because I can grow them. Let's just hope that that wasn't a fluke. So yeah, let's get into the shed and see what I can see where the seed trays are concerned. Right, I'm going to use these quarter seed trays. I've got 3 lids needing a bit of a clean, so I'm going to take 3 of these in and we'll see, just in case I've got the 3 varieties of onion. So 3. I'm going to give them a good wash because I didn't actually clean them too well before I put them away. So yeah, I'll take these in. I'll need a tray to set them in. Boom, boom, boom. I've got plenty of those. I'll just need to look one out, and I'll need to, when I get into the house, look out my heat mat, and we'll be ready to go. This little bed here was a new bed this year, and I've got some garlic in there at the moment. You can see the garlic coming up. This was my own garlic from the harvest this year. It's called Checkmate. And going up the steps here, yes, it's rather messy. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. We've got strawberries needing tidied. We've got chard that's probably, I think probably I'll just pull that. And in this bed we have garlic, both hardneck and softneck garlic, all coming up. In non-gardening related news, we had our roof done this year, so it is all looking rather splendid and of course watertight. Bit of an expense, has to be said, but we knew we had to do that before we moved into the house, or before we moved into the house we knew that. And then it took a couple of years actually to get the folk in situ to do the work, but they did a fantastic job. So that's one thing of the cottage renovation that we don't need to worry about anymore. Yay! I grew most of my potatoes this year down the side of the garden. You can see the plastic that I put down to sit the pots on, just to stop the weeds growing up around them. And I had a rubbish year. Unfortunately, they got blight quite early on, and I had, let's say, modest harvests from most of my potatoes, which was sad because usually I can grow potatoes very easily and I get tons. But, well, you know, such is life. I did, however, grow other potatoes as part of the single seed potato challenge, and they were grown actually just round the corner a bit there, and again in pots, and I had a stupendous harvest from a single seed potato. I think I ended up getting 55 pounds of potatoes from 11 pots, so that was just awesome. Great fun doing the single seed potato challenge. It's organised by Steve House from Digwell Greenfingers, and yeah, I can't wait to get started on that again next year, 2025.